A young Senegalese man has been found unalived in Ghana. This is sad and big. And Senegalese people are very unhappy with Ghana. Ghana has reacted. Basically, the Senegalese people are pointing fingers at Ghana. Like, how could you unalive a child, a young man, 18 years old? Ghanaians are pointing fingers at Nigerians. They're saying Nigerians are the reason why that boy was unalived. Now we're going to find out about that. So we are in Ghana, right here, as you can see. This is a story of a young man from Senegal. Everybody in life has dreams, right? We all want to achieve something. We want to be somebody in life. The young Senegalese man is 18 years old. He's a soccer player. He's a goalkeeper. Okay, so he played for a team in Senegal for many years, obviously trying his best, looking for opportunities to get better. In most cases in Africa, a lot of young people work very hard when they're in sport, hoping to get an opportunity to be signed with a club somewhere in Europe or America so they can make money and change their family's life. The boy comes from a very poor background. Now, his dream of becoming an international soccer player had come to life. How? Some people in Ghana reached out to him saying, listen, we have an opportunity for you where you could go play soccer or football overseas. And we're talking about Europe. But before you do that, you need to come to Ghana because this is where our center is. So we need to process your documents here in Ghana. Then you're going to go to Europe and play as a professional. As a young 18-year-old coming from a background where poverty and disease and difficulties, you cannot not seize that opportunity. And usually a lot of people will ask, why did you not scrutinize? Why did you not think about it? But when you come from poverty, when you live in misery, when you're stressed constantly and you have a breach, an opportunity that could clearly change your life forever, you don't think very much. You don't put yourself into details anymore because you believe it's sent by God. The boy went to Ghana. When he arrived to Ghana, he was met by some people that took him somewhere where it turned very quickly from a recruitment for a soccer player company to kidnapping. He was kidnapped. He was beat up. He was tossed around. He was turned around and taken picture. They obviously forced him to give details from his family. He provided the details. These people took videos of him and sent to his mother where he was beat up really bad. That's left his country going to Ghana hoping that he's going to get an opportunity to fly somewhere in Europe because he's found a recruiter, because this is how it works. Usually it's very difficult for a player, a soccer player, a football player, any other thing to find a decent club by themselves. Usually they have to go through a recruiter. Okay, somebody that comes and scouts, looks for talent, and sells you to a company where they get percentage. Now, this boy clearly thought this was one of those opportunities. He found himself within the end of dangerous people. Now, these people beat him up very hard and asked the mother and the family to send money. They couldn't send him the money that they needed. Unfortunately, a couple of days later, they slashed that boy. I can't put the videos, it's sad. They cut him into small pieces. And somebody took his body to an hospital, a local hospital in Ghana. Okay, the person named Issa went to an hospital saying he was Touré's brother. This is the boy's name. So a man named Issa, who claimed to be Touré's brother, brought him to an hospital in Kumasi in critical condition, saying that he had been in an accident. However, hospital records suggest that Touré was already deceased upon arrival. So this Issa guy said he was his brother, but the boy doesn't have any brother in Ghana. So who was this Issa? Okay, that's a big issue. Now, the authorities of Ghana suspect a network of armed extortionists operating in Ghana may have been behind the crime, but no suspect has been formally charged yet. And clearly, fellas, this is something that's very sad. I mean, 18 years old, I know some of you here are matured enough to be a parent of an 18-year-old. It's very sad to see that situation of a young man. I mean, it reminds me of myself leaving my country many years ago. I was about 20 years old, looking for a better life, going to another place and looking for opportunities and stuff like that. It was very difficult. I mean, this boy was 18 years old. He was lured into a place where he paid money to get to. He was stopped, beat up and kidnapped. And his family was asked for money. And because the family could not gather the money they were asking for, they killed this boy. Senegalese are very angry, okay? Very angry at Ghana. Fellas, I know Ghana to be a very peaceful place. Look, let me remind you here. Ghana is one of the most stable democracies in Africa. And as per some of the knowledge that's available, you don't see situations like this in Ghana. I mean, you may see this and here, somebody stealing there and there, but you don't see crime, violent crime and things like this in Ghana. Okay, you don't necessarily see it. And not to say Ghanaians are unable to do it. Now, what's happening right now? Senegalese are very angry at Ghana. Well, the Ghanaians are saying, well, it's not us. They're pointing fingers at Nigerians. Ghanaians are saying Nigerians living in Ghana are the people doing this type of crimes. Now, is this correct or not? We don't know. We have no proof. But it's just very sad that we can get to this place. And guess what? The Ghanaians are saying they don't want foreigners in the country anymore. They don't want foreigners in the country anymore. Why? Because Ghana is not what they're seeing right now. The reputation of Ghana is going into the gutter, being qualified as a country of crime, which is not. Because we all know Ghana is one of the most stable democracy in Africa. Now, stable democracy in Africa doesn't mean there's no crime. Well, you have to check some boxes to be one of the most stable democracy in Africa. Well, are there Nigerians living in Ghana? There are plenty of Nigerians living in Ghana. Okay, are there Nigerians doing crime in Ghana? Well, they've been reported to be doing crime in Ghana. Ghanaians are accusing Nigerians of doing that. Now, my case is this one. We are all fighting very hard to try to find a way so Africa can open its doors, and we can, with one another, try to cooperate so we don't have to depend on AGOAs and all other donors from other places. We are all working very hard to make sure that Africans are on the same length so we can understand each other, so we can build with one another, so we can have a decent Africa that is free economically, that is free politically of any influence that comes from outside. And this is what we're getting. I mean, this is what we're getting. Ghanaians are blaming the president, saying they don't want to be part of ECOWAS anymore. The Ghanaians are saying they don't want to be part of ECOWAS anymore. What is ECOWAS? ECOWAS are these countries you see on the map. These are all the countries that have sort of a deal where they can help each other, live with one another. They also allow their citizens to cross any country without a visa. So they can go and stay and sometimes operate without a visa. Now, if Ghanaians are angry at this point, saying that we are not the people that have done this crime because this is not Ghanaian, they are pointing fingers at specific people. They are now asking to be out of ECOWAS. They're blaming the president. They say it's because of you. You said we could live together. It's because of you. You said we were just all Africans. It's because of you. Look at our reputation going to the gutter. The question is very simple. Can Africa come together if there's no accountability? Now, does Nigeria have a history of kidnapping? Absolutely. We all know that. And I know some of you here will get very angry at me saying that, yeah, you don't like Nigeria. Am I lying? That's the question. The question you should be asking is this man lying? Is he exaggerating? No, I'm not. Nigeria has a history of kidnapping. And that's one of the main reasons why many people don't go to Nigeria, because people get kidnapped. Nigeria prominent people travel in the street with bodyguard armed with Kalashnikovs and AK-47s. Why? Because they don't want to be kidnapped. Nigeria is a place where the Christians are killed the most in the world. Not in Saudi Arabia. Not in Arab countries in the Middle East. In Nigeria. Why? Just because they're Christian. Who killed them? Well, some people, apparently some herdsmen or some people from the north. But who cares about that? We don't care, because the bottom line is they are described as who? Nigerians. Now, is this truth that there are Nigerians that have unalived this boy? We don't know. Well, the Ghanaians are saying it's not us. We don't want this anymore. The Ghanaians are saying we want him out. Let me just remind you a little bit a while back. There was a situation where many Ghanaians went down the street asking for the president to do something about Nigerians in the country, because there was a Nigerian man who proeminence, apparently had some means, some financials, or an Igbo man that wanted to create an Igbo kingdom in Ghana. Okay, I mean, Igbo is a tribe. Okay, it's a tribe. It's a Nigerian tribe. Every country in Africa has its own tribe. You can see this is Nigeria. They have many tribes. I believe there are like 400 different tribes or more. Now, amongst them, one of the major ones is the Igbos. Now, this man is an Igbo, and Igbos are known in most people of Africa as being very proud, okay, which is a good thing, very proud of themselves. Some people think they are a little too proud because then sometimes they stample on other people in their countries. You know, they're very pushy, you know. That's what people think. Many people think that Igbos are very loud. Not all Africans are loud. Okay? Not all Africans are loud. Okay? And for Igbo people, talking loud is normal. Right? Igbo are very solidarity. They hate each other. They help one another. It's a good thing we see that. However, this man that's very ambitious that went to Ghana say, I'm coming to Ghana and I want to open an Igbo kingdom in Ghana where Igbo people will unite, infuriated many Ghanaians. He said, this is our country. Which Ghanaian has gone to Nigeria creating a Ewe tribe in Nigeria? Nobody. Okay? And so people got very angry because when they asked this person a question like, why are you doing this? He looked like he was being arrogant. He was saying, well, you know, I've done great in my life. Don't be jealous of me. I'm creating my Igbo kingdom here. Well, you know.
Creating Igbo village, which has never happened in the history of the world among the Igbos in the world. As I'm talking to you, I've acquired 50 acres of land. That is 250 plus of land along the Flower Road. That is at Old Ningo area. But along that road, it's right on the road. I acquired 250 plus of land. My reason of acquiring this land is to build Igbo village in Ghana. I call it Amandi Igbo in Ghana. We'll build a village where we're gonna build the palace of Igbo there, a huge palace. We'll build Igbo town hall there with about 2,000 capacity chairs and 100 rooms guest house.
So that's what it is, fellas. Senegalese people are pointing fingers at Ghana, saying, you have done us wrong. We did not think, because Senegal and Ghana are some of the most democratic countries in Africa. You have done us wrong. Now, Ghanaians are now pointing fingers at Nigerians. It's not us. Actually, we don't want to be part of ECOWAS anymore. Okay? We blaming the president because of him, our doors are open. Because of him, foreigners are coming in our countries. And foreigners is not all foreigners of Africa. It's specific foreigners they're talking about. This is very sad because a young man, 18 years old, looking for a better life, looking for an opportunity. Like, couldn't you just kick him out because he doesn't have money? Could you not just dump him somewhere in the forest so he can find his own way? Like, why do you have to kill him? Why? Why do you have to do that? It's very sad. It is very, very sad. The boy with dreams and ambitions. I mean, you know how much guts it takes an 18-year-old to leave his country, say goodbye to his family, hoping to get a better life, going to the unknown, 18 years old. Because you need money and the world must love you and accept you. How do you justify that? If Ghana say we're closing our doors, you're going to get angry saying, well, they're xenophobic. Let me know how you feel about this. Very sad. The boy used to play for a team named Esprit Foot Yembel, a football club training academy based in Yembel in Senegal. So he was registered. He trained a lot. Okay. A very, very sad situation. The authorities suspect a network of armed extortionists operating in Ghana. Can Africa come together, my brothers? How do we fix this? If Africa ever had to come together, how do you fix this? Look, if I was the president, I'll take these people and get them all of them. No prison. I'm sorry. For certain crimes, there's no prison. Okay? You bring in drugs, we're going to treat you like Chinese treat drug dealers, and Vietnam and Thailand. Yes, and Philippines. They unalive you. That's the best way to go with these people. You are arrested within an avenue of human trafficking. No prison for you. You must reduce them. There are too many people. I'm sorry. There's too many people. And that's the problem, and that's also going to be a way to reduce things very quickly, and nobody should have a problem with that. If you know you're a decent human being, you shouldn't have an issue with that, right? Because if you're not going to grape anybody, you're not going to unalive somebody because you want to extort money, why would you be worried about? Take those people. We need to clean Africa. Africa needs to be clean because some Africans are denting the reputation of all Africans across the world. And the reason why we scrutinize everywhere we go in the world is because of a specific group of people that do the same thing over and over. We need to take them and sign a deal in every African country. If you arrest these people, don't put them in jail. Take them to a place and them. That's it. Problem resolved. Bless.